But since last time I streamed here, I was producer, my mic was muted. 2 seconds later, hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the DLs. Season 3, Run 1, Week 4. So basically, we're at the very end of the first stage out of this like 2-stage GSL plus a playoff format type of season. And tonight, Thirsty Bastards against Surf Esports. The loser will be considered third in this group, and the winner will be considered, well, he's going to be going into the grand finals, so there's no way of knowing exactly how well the winner is going to place just yet. But basically, the next round's seeding is based off of this round's ending, and the 2 best teams out of 4 go somewhere, and the 2 worst teams, quote unquote, go in the other bracket. So it's kind of make or break for these teams tonight. I'm Hans. I will be followed by, or be accompanied by, the one and only Jewel Rogue. Do you want to maybe introduce yourself? Well, I'll be sending the map and links to the players as it is time to do so.
Yes, as he said earlier, I am Dual Rogue, or you could just call me Dual. Depends. I don't care. And as he said again earlier, we are watching Thirsty Bastards Gaming and Surf Esports. Now, I was looking through the tournament earlier, and he said it's round 3. Yes, it is, and the winner will go on to play Impact Esports in the finals, and I'm really excited about that, as both of these teams have played Impact Esports, and so hopefully both teams are looking for a little bit of revenge towards Impact Esports.
I had not realized that Impact Esports sent both of these teams into the losers bracket. Yep. Another slight detail I might add, there is remarkably little, I might say, like hype or anticipation for this match. The reason being, as unfortunate as it is to say, you know, the players get to schedule their matches whenever they want, and so they tried to schedule a match. I'm not going to say which team because it doesn't really matter, and the other team did not exactly respond. So at the end of the week, they were like, okay, well, I suppose we're going to be playing at the default time, if at all, because, you know, unresponsive team might mean anything. And so I sent the map band links. The team that was unresponsive, I told them, hey, you didn't respond, so you're going to be playing tonight. Still good with you guys and everything. They responded yes, so hey, that's a good news. And the team that was there, so they said we're going to be playing on the default, but they still didn't know if they were going to play at all. So I sent them the map band link, and they're like, oh, we playing tonight? And yes, you are. So I don't think that's going to be the case, but it might be ironic where the team that was the most prepared for the entirety of the week might be caught flat-footed for like the game itself. But that kind of means that we didn't have time to create any kind of like promotions or hype or announcements, because we knew like last minute that the game was going to happen in the first place. So hey, anything you want to add on to that?
Nothing that I really want to add on. Just I hope the other team shows up. I've already been a part of one where they didn't
Both
show up, and
there.
it was a forfeit.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully they will actually show up this time, but it sounds to me like they are going to.
Oh, they will. I'm pretty sure they will. Both teams are responsive on Discord DMs. It's just that, I'm telling you, hey, you're banning whenever you want. And that might be their strategy of like dragging their feet while their teammates are joining in, because once again, they seem to be caught off guard by the fact that they were actually playing, even though they wanted to play there since the very beginning. I don't know. But all of that being said, one thing that you pointed out was really interesting. Both of these teams haven't exactly played at each other directly, but they both played against the same opponent before, because it's the same team that sent both of these two guys into the losers brackets. And that was, of course, Surf Esports. Surf Esports being the notorious winner of the last season. So on that front, there's not too many surprises that they lost, if you want to look at it this way. But you could see who lost the worst, or who was able to fend them off for the longest amount of time.
Yes. Yes, and it looks like Thirsty Bastards actually got around on Impact Esports, just looking back. So, we'll see. Like, I mean, everybody has their off days, right?
Oh, yeah. But I will say, if I was a betting man, I would bet on Thirsty Bastards. As looking at the run's history or the previous performances, Surf Esports lost 2-0 maps wise, whereas Thirsty Bastards were able to beat Impact Esports once. I mean, they lost 2-1, still a defeat, but it wasn't as severe a defeat as it was for the other guy for Surf Esports. So that's interesting. And the other thing, the other like kind of trivia or piece of history that you were mentioning, that was the Mishmash guys being absent. That was unfortunate. Did you actually hear like the rest of it as the first map bans are coming in? Did you hear like why they were not there that one time?
Because one of the guys was no longer the team captain. So
Exactly.
nobody had. I was supposed to cast that night, and it was just unfortunate that he was like, I don't know why you're messaging me. I'm no longer the team captain. So they just didn't know that they were supposed to be playing.
Yeah, that's really weird and unfortunate because like the one guy that was supposed to be keeping track of things was no longer there, and what happens next? Well, nothing happened. And it really was saddening because the matchup was going to be amazing. You know, Impact Elite against Mishmash Gaming, both these teams had a pretty good run, right? Impact Elite, they are going to be in the grand final of this round because they, well, got the one forfeit in the losers bracket and they won the other Impact roster. Impact has 3 rosters and it's kind of a whole confusing thing, but there you have it. And as I say this, map bans are coming in pretty quickly, don't they? I suppose you have it opened up. Do you also have my Parsec open? Just
Yes,
so I know.
I do. And
Parsec? I don't see you in Parsec. Oh, 6th gen, right? Not 3rd gen.
I should be 6th gen.
Do you? Because I don't see you as like. Being, there you are. There you are.
I got disconnected for some reason.
Weird how that happens. As soon as I look you up, you're no longer there. Yes, so our maps are going to be Villa, Theme Park, and then there's still, I mean, the other maps to ban to see which one is going to be the third if we had to go there in the first place, which is not yet certain, but we might still go there. It's going to be between Café de Sieski and Clubhouse, as Thirsty Bastard just banned the other map out of the 3 that were remaining, and I am working the mouse and everything. Yeah, Café is going to be our third as such. Yeah, so they banned Coastline second. There you go.
And I actually made a face in my webcam when I realized that we are actually going to the first theme park, to my knowledge, for the whole shebang. And this is actually the first theme park that I've ever casted. So I'm interested to see how these 2 teams decided to go to theme park. Like, why did they decide, hey, or who was it that chose theme park? Was it Surf, I believe? Chose theme park.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see why they chose theme park.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. So you say you never casted theme park before, or for those of you who don't know, Joel is still, you know, fairly new to the casting team. So not as in unexperienced or as in what the hell are you doing here, but you know, as in there's still a few things that you have yet to encounter. For example, a theme park match. And so I will let you in on a little secret. That was the whole premise of this. The push, except if you're defending drugs, which rarely happens nowadays. The rework has been done a long time ago. This was the best bomb site, now is basically the worst. The push always comes in from the quote-unquote back of the map. So the attackers will usually funnel in from cash stash into, say, initiation and an office, because if that's the bomb site, well then great, you're already ready to plant. If the defense is going to be in the throne room, well then you're above. You can just let hell rain down on the attacker, on the defenders, sorry, switching things up here. And last but not least, if the defense is in daycare, well then just keep on pushing forward. I would be hard pressed to explain exactly why that situation arises, but it seems to be, I would just generally say that this entry point seems to be one of the easiest to get a foothold on the building as a whole. That's really what I would be expecting, but of course that's going to be the second map in the first place. So we are first and foremost going to have to go through Villa, and you've seen Villa before.
Yes, I feel like every match that I cast, I see at least one Villa map. And I was honestly surprised we didn't go Clubhouse, because that's another map that I see every single time.
So true.
So I'm really excited. Villa, yes, I love Villa as a map. I think I said in my previous castings that I don't really like it as much, but it's slowly grown on me the more that I cast it. But theme park, I'm very interested to see how these teams play theme park, and then once we go to cafe, I feel like cafe, everybody knows this as well. especially in this high caliber of playing, people know what to do on cafe, where people should or should not be at any given moment. So maybe the teams have some tricks up their sleeves to go on to the finals so that they are not third place.
Yep. So, interestingly enough, you can usually like extract the play style of the team by looking at the map they chose. Here's something. Villa, I'm always looking up the same stats or the same underlying I want to say characteristics of the maps. Villa has three floors, which is not something every map has. Think about Theme Park, or second map of the night, doesn't have 3 floors. Has 3 staircases. Once again, the Theme Park Cafe doesn't have 3 staircases depending on the floor you're talking about. And it would, on theory, be a roamer's paradise, because if you're a roamer, if you get spotted out, you can just run away and you cannot get spotted out, and you can just, resurface on the other end of the map, because once again, it's going to be really hard to just flush out a roamer if he wants to, say, for example, flee into the basement. But that's something that rarely happens. And you do have those extended holds if the defense is going to be into the aviation room, and then a Vigil or a Caveira or even a Jaeger wants to go let hell rain down on the attackers from Master's Bedroom or Statuaries. That totally happens, but that's more of a static defense, extended defense type of play style, where if you get flushed out, it's not too bad because you're not on the bomb site proper and you want to make them pay before they even make it to the bomb site proper. Whereas Theme Park, like I told you, right, you always will be funneling from the one specific area, and as such, if you get flushed out, well, then it's not that the end of the world, because once again, and since the attackers will always be coming in there, you always want to have a roamer expecting and awaiting them there. For example, if you're into the throne room area, well, then leaving the above the OBJ open to the defenders or to the attackers would be really, really dangerous, and that's why roamers are way more present on Theme Park than they are on Villa. Looping back, because I'm not just running my mouth for the sake of running my mouth. Thirsty Bastards picking the Rome quote-unquote lighter map, whereas Surf Esports picking the Rome heavier map. Does that imply that Surf Esports will be a bit more mobile with their defenses on either maps because that's their playstyle and they've picked the one that favors it most? Maybe. It remains to be seen, of course, but that's, the preliminary, say, bet I might hedge here.
And just to reiterate what you said, I'm very interested to see if they have a successful roam game compared to the other teams. If they try to bring more flank watch, if they try to even ban a flank watch, if they plan on doing more roam heavy situations. What we can probably look forward to is, unfortunately, going to have a Thatcher ban as always.
Oh yeah, that's a given. Absolutely.
That's always a given. Our first map is Villa, so be surprised if we didn't get rid of a Maestro or a Valkyrie, because they bring so many cameras to the mix. And the other attacker, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a Heart Breacher, probably not, as Villa doesn't have as many hatches compared to Cafe, Clubhouse, other maps like that. So I'm interested to see if one of the other teams decides, hey, we want to be roam heavy for this map. We want to have the other team guessing the whole time. Let's ban this nomad that can flank watch. Let's ban this gridlock that can flank watch for us, and the other operators like that. So
it's interesting that you bring this up. I'm kind of jumping in quite aggressively here. Nomad gets banned from time to time. Gridlock, it's rare, and who else would be considered like flank denial, because you have a bunch of operators with a Claymore, but you would never ban, say, Zofia because of the Claymore. And then it becomes the different ways with which you want to flank watch, because, for example, a Gridlock, that's quite easy to shoot down. You just like knife them. If you're far away enough, the attackers won't hear it, right? But then Gridlock isn't as good a flank watch operator, but she's like really good as a support operator because she has better guns, So I suppose if Nomad gets banned, that we're going to be seeing a bit more of like Claymore operators. Because Gridlock is, I would say, more there to cover like a plant of a diffuser than she's there to properly deny roamers. That's just the way I it seems to be, right? Because she has the smoke grenades, so she just tosses them in, tosses track stingers. This way, if somebody wants to just run up on you, they're not gonna be able to. And it's always the same thing. If you're distracted due to a gunfight, due to somebody actively shooting down on you, well then you're not gonna be looking out for those nifty air jabs or track stingers. But the difference is track stingers can actually kill you, and I suppose that's like the big difference here.
Yep, and really it all depends. As I said earlier, the defense, who I can expect to see banned. I'm already talking bans. Valkyrie, Maestro, maybe an Echo. We'll see. I have a feeling he'll be banned a lot more when the whole new season comes out, where the attackers and defenders can control cameras even after death. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him banned, but we are not in that season yet. So I would honestly be surprised if even Malusi was banned, or we see another popular defender, Wamai, being banned, as you don't want Wamai and Jaeger both on the playing field at the same time.
You can of course see that I'm always looking at like the other screen and like managing things in the background. A Moss issue has occurred and has been fixed. And so yes, your Moss has to be running since before you're launching the game, ergo a few players will be leaving and joining back in. But then the issue becomes there might be a player who joined Impact Esports, and that player would thus not be eligible to play under Thirsty Bastards Gaming tonight. So I'm just asking, the Impact guy that told me this, the exact Uplay gamer tag. It's always possible to have like two people with a remarkably similar Uplay. Not exactly likely, totally get that, but I still have to do my due diligence, and if that's the case, we might have to kick somebody off of the one team's roster. Initiate people in chat might know who that is. I actually see the name in chat, so he might recognize himself. If that's the case, you're gonna have to find somebody else to play for you, because we cannot allow somebody to play on two different rosters. It is technically a different league, because Camera League and Titans League, but it's the same ecosystem altogether. A player, look at it like from like the North America League, say, comparison. If a player is playing on a Pro League roster, he couldn't be on a CL roster at the same time. So that's exactly why I'm just going to have to check in with the guys. And yeah, so I'm so sorry. Like, you're talking, you're like giving feedback and everything. I'm trying to sustain a conversation, but I'm not 100% there, which you can probably sense and you can probably tell. I'm so sorry if like my responses are disconnected and if I'm not driving the conversation as good as I could be, but that's just the nature of the beast. We didn't like mention this out loud. I don't want to be throwing shade at anybody, so there's no point really, but I was hoping to have a second caster here, and I would have been like doing only production in the background, and then I could have been like texting on Discord the entire time while no game is going on proper, aka right now, but that didn't end up happening. So I'm here. Not that I feel that this is a chore, but I'm trying just to cycle through the faces. If it's always me on here, might not be as interesting as if there was some variety in a general sense.
I know, that's how I feel sometimes. I'm just like, I want to give other people a chance, but I'm also like, I want to get better at this, so I want to do as much as I can. But also, I know I need days off. I fell asleep on my couch last night at 9:15 at night. I was so tired, but I'm better now. I'm well rested, and so I'm feeling good about tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're talking about how you were a little distracted. I was a little distracted just now because my parsec was like, nope, we can't connect you to the computer. So I was not connected for probably about 2-3 minutes.
Oh,
but luckily nothing's happened.
Did you get disconnected again? Oh, let me just screen share you from Discord. It's not the prettiest. There's no audio, but it's still going to be better than nothing.
I'm in the parsec now, so I'm doing good now.
I might... Awesome. I mean, if you get disconnected again, at the very least, there's going to be the Discord screen share to like not have you be thrown off guard. I don't know. Okay, so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of stuff that you should actually usually ask yourself behind closed doors, and then just come up with the answer instead of like debating in public, because this sows doubt and uncertainty. If the guy has not yet changed his, and I'm getting responses here. Okay, great. If the guy is not yet on the other team's roster as far as Gilded is concerned, on my end, the switch hasn't yet been made. So I mean, he might be considered a part of the team, or he might be considered a part of the like other team, and he might be in the org and I don't know, wearing a jersey and everything. But as far as Gilded is concerned, as far as the proper team rosters, registered team rosters are concerned, so far the one player hasn't made the switch. And I mean, you can. I'm gonna be highlighting this for you once again, keeping some privacy because it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh shoot, this guy right here, right? Of course, does not show up because there's features on Gilded where somebody cannot be on both sides. And if you look at like the other rosters here, of course he doesn't show up on the Impact roster. So far, no, yeah, okay. So I hate, it's always just making a gut decision.
Mm-hmm.
But if they haven't officially made the switch, I'm going by what's official. So if he's not yet on the Impact roster, he's still by default on the other one, or he has not yet been dropped by the other team, because he still shows up on the other team.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about this like in a actual sports, like this is esports and everything, but I'm also thinking of it like in American football or whatever sport. It's like, oh, he's practicing with the squad, he knows the squad, he's been watching VODs with the squad and all that stuff, but his name's not on the program yet saying, hey, this guy is officially with us yet, but he's on the practice team and he's showing up to our practices and he's showing up to our VOD reviews and he's showing up and he's given stuff like that. It's kind of a touchy subject at that point. It's like, technically he's not on the team, his name's not on the roster, his name's not on the program, but he's still part of the practices and giving his input on other teams, the way they play. So I could see yes and I could see no, and I would be fine with whatever decision needs to be made, because I understand both sides of the coin right now.
Okay, and if I go back to the game, okay, so all 10 players are there. Here's another question. Should we'll allow them. Okay. Okay, yeah, so the Impact guy says, well, I will. So he's part of our team. I will add him to our roster. So that means the official switch has yet to be done. Okay, and yeah, so the last question I was getting for the team members was like, is the esports skins allowed? The esports skins from the Twitch streams.
Gotcha, like the very bright, no way you can blend into a wall skins. I mean, the esports skins are allowed. Correct me if I'm wrong. They are allowed, but also like, I understand people want customization in their operators and stuff like that. But when you're playing with rules where it comes down to, hey, we may lose a round because we're not wearing the right skin, and if any skin at any time becomes questionable, we could lose a round or even the match because of it. Just go ahead and put it on default. I feel like, I don't want to say we've all done tournaments in the past, but like when I have with my friends and stuff, they ask me like, hey, what skins are available? Can I wear this skin? Can I do this? Can I do this? I'm like, no, just put it on the default skin, and then that way nobody will ever have any questions on anything. So long story short, that's my opinion on it. But esports skins are able to be wore.
So we've been talking for quite some time. The players are all in here. Last thing was to have them join the server because, of course, no coach is allowed to like IGL you mid-game. And so I will just go in with like the last "Are you guys ready?" from the players, and then we're gonna be ready to go. The team is, I'm just gonna call them TBG. Yes, and they are going to be on the other sides because they were attacking first, right? So our match here on Villa. The first match is Villa actually.
Yes.
And Thirsty Bastards are attacking first. What the hell are they doing in the orange side? Okay, well, so orange team attacks first. That's a good thing I checked. I'm muting. All right, so guys, are you ready? Awesome. Surf Esports? Awesome. So Villa, Thirsty Bastards are attacking first, even though you're on the orange team. Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And without further ado, let's jump right into things. Awesome. Villa. What an amazing map. Your opinions on Villa?
The same opinions that I always do, except for that it is slowly growing on me, like I said before.
Yep.
Because of how many times I've seen it played so far. Like I said, there's not a map, or I don't think there's a match yet where I haven't seen it played. Villa, I believe we've touched on all the subjects of it being kind of a roamer heavy-ish map. But there's a downside to that, in my opinion, to where you have to do, as with any other role, you have to do the roaming role right. You cannot be killed within the first 10 seconds of the round starting, or the first 20, whatever. You have to have enough time on your hands to get rid of... Sorry, I'm also writing down the what team's doing what ban right now. But you have to waste enough time on the clock for the attackers to say, hey, we don't know where this person is. If you waste a minute of the attacker's time trying to figure out where you are and trying to kill you the whole time, that you did your role well. Obviously, you want to stay alive the whole time for the whole 3 minutes, but sometimes that's just not possible. But your role is to get as many kills as you can, and if you're not getting kills, to waste as much time as you can.
Well, staying alive for all 3 minutes definitely would be the ideal situation, but we all know things don't exactly work like that. Welcome to the real world.
Exactly. You know what? Just ace every round. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I mean that's you want to go into pro league, just get an ace every single time. 5 headshots, wall bangs, and you got 30 bullets in the mag. You only need 5.
Exactly. If you just click their head every single bullet, just go ahead and change your gun type to, instead of the automatic, just do single fire.
Oh yeah, I mean here's a pro league tip for you guys. If you click on the enemy's head, he tends to die.
Yes.
Okay, I mean,
usually does.
Joking aside, so far no surprises, right? Aviation and games room, the typical go-to first defense. I'm just gonna do one thing here, real quick. Sorry for that. Because I want to try to run replays, and I haven't done this in a while, and I just have to be V-synced because otherwise, with the graphics down to the minimum, because otherwise OBS is going to lag through its nose. So the expected defense, all in all, with an Echo as a planting aisle, okay, to like electrify everything. Some teams will want to blow a wall or hole in this wall right here to like have easier rotations. Doesn't seem to be the case, but that's okay as well. Smoke to play for time, and I suppose Xen and Ivo will be roaming, because why the hell, or who the hell would be roaming instead? That really does not look like a full anchor setup. With that being said, is there anything you want to add on to that?
Just as you said, typical defense setup, and honestly, typical attack setup. You want the jackal and the nomad to kind of see where the roamers are. Nomad's going to be the flank watch, IQ to find out those pesky echo drones, and also the cave electric claws, and then Ace as your hard breacher to finish it all up.
So one thing I do want to notice is that TBG, Thirsty Bastards, they are not bringing an Ashe. Instead, I'm going to say here Munchies is playing the Ashe equivalent with IQ. That's going to be so much more intel on the board. Well, IQ doesn't have the best intel because she's not, say, 0, but it still counts. Definitely does. So interestingly enough, Soft Breach is going to be sacrificed, but you know, Ashe would kind of be considered a staple of an attack composition. So that really is somewhere where you could see TBG are kind of out of the typical norm, and I'd like to see it. Let's just see if it is actually going to be worthwhile, though. I see that Xen here, if he wants to peek, could likely get a kill. Firefight is going to erupt, but nobody dies. Still, contact has been made.
Ooh, and a big kill and immediately traded by KCN, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, Xen, yeah.
Okay, Xen. They got the wall open right there, as now they can watch through that vault area.
So one thing's interesting, Avo is just beneath, so he could maybe even like use an impact nade on the floor to deny the access if Ace wants to burn another charge to, you know, make a hole that you could vault through. Kind of like sometimes you can breach the floor and say watch a window from a floor beneath if somebody was to vault through, but that's not going to be the case here. Sai instead just going for the kills. I guess you might be a hard breacher, but AK-12 still is a frag machine. It looks like Oz actively expects somebody to vault through, but as we know, the wall won't allow for that. There is the plan being attempted and denied. Usa is putting, was that Munchies down, nicely done, and Oz is there still on the cameras, so he's not going to be defending himself too much. Usa down for good, but you know, it was a 2v4, but those two remaining defenders are plant denial, so I suppose that things are still very much doable for Surf Esports. Wow, hiccups.
Yeah, and it just seems like the plant is going to try and go down, but Usa is going to hear that go off, and unfortunately does not get the kill, as the plant was about to be finished, but it doesn't matter, as Bridge kills off the last Surf remaining defender.
I would like to draw your attention to my Discord screen share because I'm going to be doing something that I have not done since you came on, and it is going to be this. So guys, replays are back on, and basically if you comment, say on the operator pick, well then people aren't going to see it. But yeah, so if you want to go back to that round, I was saying, oh well, this defense doesn't seem to be too mobile there. I was supposing that Jaeger and Mozzie, or Legion, sorry, were going to roam, and they kind of did. Xen falling back really quickly, and Evo getting killed off-site before he even made it back. So at the end of the day, it was played kind of like an anchor playstyle, and that showed, right? For a long time, the attackers were knocking on the door, trying to plant, but not exactly succeeding right away. And that stagnation could have been deadly if the timer was, you know, lower on the clock, which simply put wasn't the case, for better or for worse. And at the end of the day, yes, if the roamers had wasted some more time, I suppose TBG would have been hard pressed. Still slightly doable because the nature of the 4v2 situation. But yes, all around, if Surf are able to have, you know, a better roaming game, I would say their chances of taking this round are pretty good.
And I agree. And so Surf actually went back to the site that they just lost, as you said, but now instead of bringing the Cade, it looks like they're bringing the Mute to just mute the walls, which, you know,
makes sense.
Makes sense because that vault wall got opened very quickly last time by the Ace.
He still has a jammer in the back pocket, so I suppose that one's going to be used to deny drone intel, but I yet have to see exactly where it is going to be put down. He might actually not even use it, which I always find somewhat unfortunate because, I mean, you do have the resource. Even if it's a suboptimal use, it's still better than just flat out not putting it down. But it looks like Hex has, you know, more important things to do, such as attempting a cheeky peek here. Imagine if he gets a kill. I mean, I would say getting a kill is way more important than just planting down a random jammer, but it does not look like it's actually going to turn out for him, as TBG are already in the building and as such are no longer really exposed if you're peeking into the balconies. But right there, that is going to be somebody, Jaeger to be specific, identified. But there's no real way to go in for the kill really quickly because he's just too well protected. And as I want to switch on his POV, Xen is going to fall under size fire. So it looks like the initial first steps are going to be really similar. The roamers falling way too quickly. And I mean, at this point, they're already going to be trying to, you know, shoot down the jammer from beneath and then open up the thing. And right there, I missed out on that. But Hex also forfeiting his life. Things are not going too great for Surf Esports right now.
No, and as you said earlier, just the roamer getting knocked down with about a minute left, not causing any distractions, unfortunately, towards them. But you still have the echo, and you still have the smoke with, I believe, all of his smoke canisters. Yes.
Yes.
With about a minute and a half, it's still looking good for the attackers. It's a 5v3 situation. You have the upper hand in right now, but you never know what could happen, as it seems like the I'm sorry, has found one of the echo drones is going to get rid of it, and now the fault wall has been opened as there's a kill off lift onto
Yeah, that's laugh. That's laugh. Once again, guys, do spell out your gamer tag the way it's supposed to be said. Oh no, he was on the smoke, blinded, and I mean that was a golden opportunity as he doesn't take damage through that puff of smoke. But yeah, he was coming in unexpecting anything, and he basically flashed himself, to put it that way. Really, really unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it really was just a repeat of the previous round. After all, roamers falling down really quickly, what comes after? Well, the attackers trying to execute a push. And knowing exactly how Surf played, Surf should have been able to adapt because they were the ones that were getting outgunned. And yet, you know, TBG just increased the heat because they knew exactly what to expect and they acted on that.
No.
And I mean, really, adaptability and updating your playstyle really is a core component of Rainbow Six, but it feels like Surf are not showing up for that one specific part of the gameplay. The good news is that the match is still very, very young, and I mean, we're only in the first few rounds. Ergo, if Surf just need a few more minutes to warm up, that could still be the case, and it could still be viable if, you know, at their, so to say, cruising altitude, they're widely better than TBG. The map is yet to be lost for them, but at this point, it really is TBG's game to lose.
Yes, and I wonder how much of a play that, well, now they're not doing it this round because they don't see an echo being played, but TBG bringing in that IQ and getting rid of the echo drones very early, because I don't even believe that the echo even had time to pull out his echo drones and deny any of the plans to stun any of his people, any of the attackers before he was either A, killed, or B, his yokais were destroyed by the attackers.
Yeah, I mean, IQ being brought to the table really did make the whole world of difference, and we could see that. Interestingly enough, though, she's not going to be making another appearance for the upcoming round, and I would say that's exactly because TBG don't need to be that intricate to outgun and basically outmaneuver their opponents. And so Bridge will be playing with the Ashe, whose objective, whose reason for being, is nothing but just killing the opponent. And I mean, so far, I have no reason to doubt that this was the wrong way to go. But anything is still possible. You know, Uza is roaming in a unconventional way. He didn't do this before. At the same time, it's a different objective. And even though there's a wall between them, Uza and Bridge might see each other pretty quickly if they both move in the right direction to be able to meet. We could hear Xen on his left. A wall has been opened up. Oh yeah, that window right there has been breached. So Sai's going to be using that to run. But for the time being, it's not an actual entry point into the objective. Oh no! Uza being tagged by Jackal has to rotate out of there pretty quickly, but his way is going to be cut off right there. That's Sophia, I believe. And being static. Yep.
I believe it is Sophia as well, and if Uza's not, you know, careful, he's going to get taken away, and he's getting some pings out, and just as I said it, looked the wrong way, and he's going to get taken out by Bridge of the Ashe. He had the pings. He knew where the Ashe was, and he just chose to look the other way.
Hey, that flick was oddly specific, but I guess at the very least it proves he does not use an aimbot, because he would have not flicked in that one direction, if I can put it that way. But yeah, so Oz, I mean, there's Bridge, a full-blown danger in the first floor. You don't know where he's going to come up, but the Nitro Cell and Xen also getting a kill in rapid succession, that can tip the scales, and pretty drastically, as now TBG for the very first time in 3 rounds are going to be on the back foot. Sai and Bridge really are not working together. Both of them are isolated and would therefore be fairly easy opponents to take out. I guess I see why, as the diffuser has to be recovered. So Sai really seems to be the one that's going to be relenting, because Bridge, well, probably is going to be leading the real assault at this point.
Yes, and they're probably just talking to each other and just trying to figure out where exactly am I going to go right now, as Bridge is going to be getting into a gunfight, and the Legion's going to be looking the other way. And now there's a 1v2 situation as Psy quickly turning the tables, making it 1v2 with 20 seconds left. The proximity alarm's going to be going off as Bridge is going to be trying to do the plant down, and he successfully gets the plant down as looks the wrong way, gets the kill. Psy finishing out the round for TBG.
He was laser focused on that angle the entire time. He was looking at the wall, you know, almost expecting somebody to like wall bang him at any moment. And then, I don't know, I suppose Ace just moved out of the range of the jammer, or the detector. Ergo, he was no longer making any noise by merely being there. And this is why, at this point, Wamai just looked at the breach. That was just the wrong play to make, flat out. And it's so unfortunate because you saw him be absolutely ready for anything that might come through that door, except when he came through the door. Oh, disheartening.
It's very disheartening as Serve had, I will say that they had the bigger odds to win that round. 3v2, your attackers were separated from each other, not really much clock on the top, not much time on the clock. If I could talk today, that'd be great. And it was all Surf Esports, and unfortunately it's just looking the wrong way as the Legion in statuary was looking towards master bedroom, and Ash just walked in, killed him instantly, and then just got the plant down from there.
So this round, this fourth round, is going to be slightly similar to the second round. Surf just lost, so they could technically look at what they just did wrong and say, think to themselves, okay, let's not repeat our past mistakes, and ergo, you know, change up what was needed to win the round. But that also totally applied to the second round, and they failed to get something out of that. So I'm really curious to see if they're going to be a bit more adaptable this time around, or if it's going to be a repetition of what we saw just on another bomb site. So far, I mean, the TBG's recipe really is going great for them, and yet they're always, you know, adapting and updating their playstyle. Look at Munchies this time playing with Twitch. He was on Zofia before.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but it looked like he was doing some pre-round firing just to get used to Twitch's gun shooting at the wall. And as Munchie's going to get,
work.
It's going to work out great. It seems that the Wamai just tried to over-peek and got his head taken off, and now it's 4v5.
You can already sense how the defenders are being squished. For example, Hex, I don't know if he realizes that nobody's on the rappel there anymore, but if he does not know that, that's the one exit to the Master's bedroom that's no longer going to be viable. Tries a C4, but I imagine if the angle had been held, that would have been a death sentence for him. Yeah, he probably knows there's nobody on that rappel. But all in all, you just can sense that the pressure is mounting. That K-Trix is not going to pan out. Maybe the second one's going to get denied, but Bridge is in sight? What?
When did Bridge get inside?
Just while K was looking at the ceiling, tossing the electroclaw, I guess, and now the fuse has been planted. A few defenders are just barely around on the perimeter of the OBJ, but even then, Xan is never gonna make it. There you go, leaving us with Uza, who is now into trophy. That's good, but he dies, and last one is going to be Ivo, and he is just in as desperate a situation as his teammates before him. TBG, that was not a flawless round, but it was even better in my mind than a flawless round that you take slow and methodical, because Bridge, he saw the opportunity and he seized it big time. Yes,
and it seems that Surf Esports just trying to get something going as they're going back to trophy statuary again. They've lost it 2 in a row. You would think that they would realize, hey, this is what we're going to do wrong, but no, I think it was more of TBG saying they're going back here, they have the exact same lineup, they're probably going to do the same thing that they have done 100 times in the past, or at least the last time we saw them play this, and so we're just going to, it seemed like a rush because the plant got down super early. Yeah. TBG just, they knew what to do. They knew what Surf was going to do before Surf even knew what they were going to do.
So that is going to be our third defense here into the statues and the trophy room. I don't know how I feel about that, because, you know, the defended aviation once failed, when they were a second time, failed again, and then basically said, screw it, we're not gonna get it, instead of like keeping on tweaking a losing formula until it ends up working out. They started from scratch and went into statues. That was 3 rounds ago. And now, well, they're really committed to that quote-unquote secondary bomb site. So you could argue their chances of winning would even be better if they went back onto the other side. But that's just not the case. Item number 1. The item number 2 I want to point out is the fact that the attackers, they don't even care anymore. Have you seen how many drones got shut down because they did not retreat once they knew where the bomb sites were? Twitch got shut down, Size drone got shut down, another one got killed, and no, actually no other one got killed. It's the, well, I mean, still losing 2 drones on a comp level is something you don't see every day.
Especially a Twitch drone, you don't see that.
Oh yeah.
You want to keep your 2 Twitch drones as much as possible in that case.
And there you have it.
Goes the bandit batteries, and so that's going to make Ace's job a lot easier, as I don't believe the bandit is anywhere close to site, so he can deny anything. Nope.
So that's a 3-man roam here. But the push, I mean, at this point, the guys should know that this is where the action is happening. Oz getting a nice pick there. That's useful. But I'm really wondering as to what's happening into, you know, the Surf Esports combo. Because look at this, okay? Xen, a Vigil, a Roamer, there's no way around that, is going to be on site. And yet Bandit, who could have been Bandit Trixing, for example, is offsite. And they're only just now realizing that where the push is coming from, after the hard breach phase was a success, might I add. So that seems to be extremely slow of a response time, which is so unfortunate. Munchies and Xen are going to be trading blows here. That's nicely done. But Ivo still committing to that realm. I suppose he's only there to deny Bridge access to the top of the red stairs. But by doing so, Xen is left to his own devices in a 1v1 situation. That's good. So I guess Ivo might move, but Bridge really seems to know where Ivo was. And so that's going to be creating a bit of a stalemate. Everything's going to rest on Xen's shoulders then. And oh, Sai is trying something. He could actually plant, and he will plant. He's going to get the kill first. Yeah.
He's going to get the kill first and fake off the plant. But Ivo doesn't seem to. Now he knows that somebody's on red stairs. The plant's going down. He has to get the kill, and he does. It's a 1v1 situation. The plant's going down, and they're going to be getting the pings, telling each other where they are. But Sai is going to win the gunfight off of Ivo as he tries to listen to his team's pings, but unfortunately he had too little HP, and TBG takes the round.
So my question at this point becomes, is this going to be a 7-0 game? Because the defense is easier, right? At this point, TBG have 5 points under their belts. There's going to be one more round before the role swap, no matter what they do. Surf Esports, I mean, they have a track record of losing their defenses. But once they start an attack, attacking should even be harder than defending, you know? So I guess TBG are, you know, that well into their, you know, on their way to getting a 7-0 scoreline that I wouldn't put it past them at this point. Which is disheartening.
It doesn't seem that TBG is letting off the gas anytime soon. They're wanting to get this a 7-0 victory, go on to the next map, go to theme park, and get another 7-0 victory. And that's what it seems to be the case right now.
So, our very last round before the world swap is going to be in Kitchen. And that kind of is, I mean, the only wild card Surf Esports has left to play, because, you know, their defensive play style on both Aviation and the Trophy Room is known, has been seen before. And I suppose using, you know, the advantage of surprise on a quote-unquote weaker bomb site might really be the only card they have left to play. Uza going downstairs, not because there's a great many deal of, say, destructible floors down here, but I suppose if the push was to be coming in from exactly there, yeah, he's ready. He's absolutely ready. And oh, guys are already dying on bombs. Was it a run-out attempt? Probably was. Let me just see. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Uza well positioned, but no, they're not going to be coming in from that angle.
And that's very unfortunate. You know, it's round 6. You're down 5 rounds. I guess you might as well try a run out, but at this level of playing, like, you have to be very confident and you have to know where the attackers are coming from. There's probably 3 guns looking at the specific window, and that's just very unfortunate for Surf Esports to be down a person and almost down another one.
Yeah. Because Xen was once again with Vigil the only one on OBJ. Surf's playstyle really is something, and not in the good sense because they're losing, so visibly what they're doing just is not working out, and at this point they should really change their playstyles. I mean, Bruna Mira hasn't banned, a Clash, Smoke, Melusi has been banned, so I guess the Legion, because TBG never really have been struggling for time, so we don't even know if they're the kind of teams that falls under pressure. Might be worth a shot if what you're doing currently visibly doesn't work out through and through. You know what I mean?
Yes, and honestly, I agree with everything you said. You expect to see the Pulse downstairs somewhere and trying to get an easy C4 kill because you know they're going to be coming from upstairs. They had to clear out second floor, but
look at this. Pulse isn't even playing with the C4. He has barbed wires.
Oh no, I didn't even see that. What are you doing, sir? Maybe he didn't realize he didn't have the C4, and that's why he's on the second floor roam, which you hardly see a Pulse be that far, you know, off objective or underneath objective or anything. So I'm not sure what was going on there.
I mean, that hypothesis would make total sense, saying, oh, well, if he doesn't have the C4, he might as well be on the second floor. But not having your C4 on Pulse at a competitive level really is an inexcusable mistake to make. Oh, and right there, he's going to pay for dear life, Xen being a bit too static, but Oz, we missed that. He gets the diffuser. He's now going to have 1 or 2 issues. First one is going to be the hatch itself. Secondary, well, there's like 2 doors he has to watch, and that really is more than you can ask of a single guy with a gun. Especially since one of the entry points is outside of the building, so no roamer could hold that by proxy. But right here, Sai really is struggling. It looks like Surf Esports will win their first round. So yeah, there you have it. No 7-0 for Thirsty Bastards Gaming. That does not mean that Surf are out of the woods yet, and not by a long shot, however.
Definitely not by a long shot. As we said, now here comes the role swap. Surf Esports is going to be on definitively the harder role, as they're going to be trying to attack a pretty defender cider-ish map, but also TBG. They're smart in how they've been playing so far. They know exactly that if they go, I have a feeling, if they lose, they're going to the trophy statuary. If they lose this bomb site, they will come up with a plan and so that they will win the next round. So I don't see TBG giving up many rounds past 1, maybe 2, but you never know what could happen.
I mean, you never know what could happen mantra really is true, because I wouldn't have thought Surf would win this round. They're making terrible mistakes, let's just put it this way. They were on a arguably weaker bomb site, and yet they managed to win. I could argue that TPG weren't exactly expecting that push either way, because they didn't bring a buck or a sledge, which would be indicative of you expecting to be having to take the top floor. But furthermore, like, there were a few opportunities that weren't exactly capitalized. We didn't mention this because no kill happened as a result of that. But remember when it was Zofia who was watching through, you know, the opening there, and at the top of the reinforced wall here, and a rotation into that doorway, which she saw and didn't exactly get the kill on. That's like missed opportunity territory. So at the end of the day, TBG, I don't want to say, you know, they're letting their success get to their heads, but they could have won it if they, you know, had better aim and everything.
Yes, and really it just comes down to this round. You know, this is the secondary bomb site that most people don't really, they go to whenever they win the first bomb site. So maybe they feel more comfortable at this bomb site and say, hey, if we win this one, we go to the next one that everybody's good at winning, and then, you know, that's 2 rounds and they win 7-1. But they do have to win this, as it seems like they have a little bit more preparation compared to what Surf Esports was doing on their defending.
Hey, I'm opening up a parenthesis. Chat says Vigil on site is good, but not as good. Not as good as roaming. Is there... I'm opening up the discussion because I'm truly curious. Is there an argument to be made for having Vigil anchor on OBJ? Because the only one would be not getting laser beam because a drone comes in. But then again, drones should be shut down pretty quickly or even jammed outright before they make it in. Or, you know, Mozzie, you know?
I would say that Vigil, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he's a 3-speed as...
Yes, he's a 3-speed, yeah.
Okay. He can get around the map very quickly, so him being on site when you have other anchors that could be more useful, especially on this map, Vigil, I feel like Vigil should be roaming on this map. It's a big map. You're going to want a 3-speed roaming. You don't want him on site. Yeah, sure, he can use his little ability to where the drones won't see him, but compare these sites to other sites. There's a big gaping hole in between the two sides, so you can see across very easily. And oh, good double kill making.
Oh no! Oh no! You still have a Valkyrie downstairs, but she had a natural cell, used it up, and didn't get a kill in return. That's unfortunate. Bridge last one side. He is playing with a pistol. I believe he has a shotgun, and that probably is going to be a mistake, or that probably was a mistake, ergo why he's playing pistol. But he gets a kill. Nicely done. Laugh has not, you know, said his last word there. He's still gonna, you know, try to fight tooth and nail. Bridge, yep, definitely playing with a shotgun without any gun sight. That probably is, you know, a troll setup from last time he played casual or something. But with all that being said, Hex is the last player alive. The gun over there is going to peek through the opening in the wall, so he's going to get pre-fired a little bit. But Hex would be hard-pressed to deny a plant as there's a cross angle being established by Bridge. And no, he gets it after all, the shotgun at that range, and he gets the double kill. Surf Esports keeping the dream alive.
And what really hurt right there is the Valkyrie was just in the open, and obviously you kind of have to be, but as soon as he was starting to make that way towards the kill, obviously the defenders didn't know he was pushing at that point, but they should have had some idea that as soon as he hears the diffuser going off, he's getting comms from his teammates saying, hey, they're diffusing. You need to go stop this so we can win this round. As soon as he started pushing, the Thrall should have came through and just tried to cut him off, try to give the Valkyrie as much time as possible to complete that defusing.
But the location where the diffuser was planted actually was quite ingenious, because it would be easy to just think, oh, let's plant behind the bomb, let's plant behind the desk, or behind the statue on the other bomb site, and yet he was out in the open, directly in the doorway. But that's exactly why you want to do this. Hex just got a nasty double kill, and he could allow himself to just sit outside, which is arguably really dangerous thing to do as the defender. You know, if you want to push somebody that's outside. But if the guy does not give you any other choice than to try to run out, because, I mean, he's going to deny the plant, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. TBG's one and true mistake was to allow the diffuser to get planted. And as the game pushes forward, I'm going to let you talk after that. Sorry for hogging the mic. We're seeing new things, not out of desperation, because things are not, you know, TBG backs against the wall, but a Kavera and a Vigil, and you could argue that, you know, Munchies could also be roaming if you wanted to, but there's a drone seeing him right there. We saw Psy with Cade roaming before, and, you know, a Valkyrie from underneath. This meta could be extremely mobile if they wanted to.
And I'm very interested to see that the Cav is being played with, I don't know if they know this, a Jackal on field. So if the Jackal looks at her feet and says, hey, there's a Cav, but obviously, you know, you never know whose feet prints you're scanning whenever you scan them. So they may or may not know that a Cav is in play at this moment. But
imagine if you could, though. Imagine if you could know whose footsteps they are before you even scan them.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, Jackal's good enough as is. Ubisoft, don't listen to us. But I mean,
Ubisoft, keep on listening to us. Give everybody their ACOGs back. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, do as I say and I will break your game.
Exactly.
Yeah, Laugh right here is getting shot at so much. I mean, he's still going, and that's where, you know, Vigil comes in handy. He's not going to get wall banged because the drones can't know exactly where he is. But the hiding spots he has are very limited, and that cross angle being established, he was a goner. But Bridge right here, oh, that's Sai actually getting a kill. Bridge is going to be an active threat. The only thing that could stop him at this point would be a drone, but I don't think anybody's holding a drone right now. Hex is actually. And of course, Xen is dead. Last one would be a Claymore. That Nomad air jab. Oh, it was close enough. And it goes off immediately. Ozzy probably going to turn around. That flash grenade. Oh, he could have just kept on going if he wanted to, because the flash was not going to hit him. And yet, he bails out, basically leaving the attackers free to keep on pushing forward. And that's exactly what they're going to do. I guess Ivo is going to come down looking for footsteps. And that is where Caveira is going to come in extremely handy. You can see he doesn't find them, and he seems slightly confused by that.
Yeah, he seems like they have no idea that a bridge is still going to be there, but you're going to have him watching that angle just in case. They don't necessarily need him at this moment, as they know that somebody's at least somewhat off site, and so the other people can make a push as we get the Cav off the board, and now the Jackal is going to go join his teammates. 4v1 situation, not looking good for TBG right now. As I say, the final kill comes on, Sai off the board, and now Surf Esports winning 3 in a row.
Is this map attack-sided now? Like, is there something I missed? Did I not get the memo?
So. Like, I would have never guessed that this map was attack-sided, but I don't know what's happening with TBG. My prediction was wrong that they would learn from their mistakes, but I think it is what you said earlier, that they have this cushion of we are up still 2 rounds.
Yeah.
2 rounds is a lot of rounds. All they had to do is just win this one, and next one they win. And so they were like, we have a cushion. Let's try and, let's try out different things. Let's bring the Cav out, see if she can do anything. It didn't work, so now they're like, okay, let's
rethinking their previous strategies. Yeah,
it's pretty much just like, let's bring what people usually bring. They had the Mozzie, the Jaeger, and all the other operators. The Goyo is going to be there to put down his shields and deny them coming down 90 hallway, red stairs, or what have you at that point. So they haven't necessarily gave up, but Surf bringing back 3 rounds in a row is very surprising and different than how they were playing at one point.
I'm gonna just underline one thing. That hole has been made by a C4. Mozzie used his one and only up. Nobody has a shotgun. Nobody has an impact nade. That, to me, especially since defenders basically get to dictate the playing fields, that's just a major mistake. Once again, for a comp level, I would assume that means that TBG does not have a fixed strategy for this bomb site. They're just winging it as they go. And as, nimble as this makes you, whenever you forget about an impact or a shotgun, well, then using up a nitro cell for a roamer, that really does weaken up Mozzie big time.
Yes, and it seems that the attackers are going to take some early damage, but in the same breath, Sai has half of his health gone, as he's going to try and do as much roaming as possible to try and get his teammates as much of a time cushion as possible.
Yeah, they're pushing forward slowly but surely. They know that they're roamers, so they're going to be quite cautious. And by they are, of course, me, Surf Esports. That's going to be a few drones. Ozzy's the one droning right now, and he's going to, participate or assist in the kill on Sai, which is good. But Munchies still is going to be a thorn in Surf Esports' side. He disappeared in the basement. He's coming back up the red stairs, and that's good. As we saw, there's a drone that just went up, and that drone basically just said that the first floor is safe, which is not the case. And why are you taking so much time to detonate it? Xen would be dead.
He would be dead. There it goes. Finally. Maybe he didn't want him to know that somebody was below him. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he wanted to detonate it and run as far away as possible before
that's
it was
fair.
detonated.
That's fair. But, I mean, So the point would then be to not have the enemy know where you are because you were beneath that point at some points, but not anymore, hypothetically. All of that goes out the window as soon as Ivo tags the feed. He didn't get a strong ping off, so I mean only 1 or 2 pings, and ergo, I mean, Munchies is just going to disappear once again, and he is still the active threat that he was before. And at this point, I would say it could be interesting if Bridge or Laugh were to start roaming, because they have their nitro cells and they could just swap with Munchies. His kit isn't actively going to have them roaming. It's too late in the run to do that, however, and both teams are just trading blows. 3v3 situation is as even as it gets. 34 seconds on the clock, but the attackers have a clear way into the objective. They just have to succeed with their execute, and that's coming up right about now.
And it seems like everybody's just watching their angle. They know about where that the attackers are coming from, as the Valkyrie unfortunately had to rotate because the Jackal was getting his footsteps. It's now 3v1 as Hex gets the kill on Christo.
Oh no.
And Live misses his shots, and the attackers take it.
That's unfortunate because he was supposed to get that one at the very least.
Oh yeah, for sure, and maybe live to fight another day. But as soon as he got that kill, the other 2 attackers would know where he is and just crossfire, wait for him to peek his head back up again. And I'm not saying he couldn't have won it, but it would have been very hard for him to win at that point.
So, I mean, this really does bring us back to the same question. Why is the attack winning always?
I have absolutely no idea, and maybe Surf Esports just decided to wake up at that moment and say, we are down 5 rounds. Let's wake up and actually bring this as close as possible. We're going to start winning our gunfights. We're going to start Excuse me, sorry. We're going to start winning our gunfights. We're going to start communicating. We're going to actually bring operators, not that they necessarily haven't in the past, bring operators where it will help out, and we're going to have TBG on their toes guessing. And so maybe, like I said, Surf Esports just decided to wake up at that moment.
I mean, that's entirely fair. Do you feel like TBG's, accuracy or reaction time, like raw fragging power went down in the last few rounds? Because I don't sense that either. But they're making mistakes. I mean, going back to the fact that they blew a hole with a nitro cell, and this time around Psy is going to be playing with smoke for exactly that reason. So that's at the very least is going to be, learning from your mistakes. But then again, I mean, those small nitpicking type of details don't explain why the momentum switched all the way through for 4 rounds in a row nonetheless,
Yes, and I agree with what you said. I don't feel like TBG has been losing their gunfight. I don't think their gun skills have gone down any since we've seen them on defense. It's just they're making small mistakes. Like you said, they should have won this way long ago, but they're allowing Surf Esports to come back and almost tie it up. It's 5-4, and Surf Esports has won 4 rounds in a row, which is very, very unlikely.
Munchies has been flushed out by a very pacifist way, in the sense that he didn't get killed outright. And Bridge right here still is going to be active. But why would you peek without aiming down sights? The drone didn't know he was exactly there, but he knew he was close enough. As you know, whenever you're like max jammed by a Vigil, sorry. Munchies does not want to press his luck though. And I suppose that's entirely fair, as anchoring into 90 Holloway could be really good, and that's exactly the play he's going to make. But in the same breath, Surf Esports are holding that angle from the other side as well, and they're going to make his life a living nightmare, which kind of is the point of him being there in the first place, because he wants to return the favor and make their lives also a nightmare. Hex's rappel there is going to be quite embarrassing, though, because that's going to cut off a lot of nasty angles Munchies could have held before. Plus, being tagged by Jackal, that's just, a deadly cocktail for him. He still is holding out somehow, so that's good. And, playing for time and everything is key. But there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to get flushed out eventually, and that eventuality just has come.
Yes, and now they're opening up Vault Wall, and it seems like everybody on Surf Esports is around this area, as they get a double kill on Munchies, making it 5v3. So now they're getting ready for their plant, but no, Laugh has different plans as he makes it a 4v3. I'm sorry, and now they're down a person, and I thought they were going to get ready for the plant, but no, they seem a little unsure. With 20 seconds left, we're entering that 20-second meta where it's just you have to go, and Laugh with the nitro cell.
He got no, the timing.
Killed,
but he didn't have the gun up. Oh, but at this point, Cristo could Psy could wallbang that. What presence does Psy have? He's gonna get 2 kills right there. One's there to the right. He does not know he's right there. Oh, but Cristo is gonna save the day. Wow. Because I mean, the guy behind the bench, not exactly sure who that was. That was a free kill for Smoke if he knew he was there.
Yes, and
possibilities.
Again, I said this last time we casted in game. It's always a what if moment.
Oh yes.
What if the K didn't throw his C4 at that moment and didn't get a kill? But it's also. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop my train of thought because I saw the Chanka come on the playing field and I'm not sure. Okay. No, they're going to trade him off to the smoke.
Yeah, so once again, because of the replays, people didn't see this, and you probably didn't get that, but chat has actually dared Bridge to pick Tachanka.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can't play Chanka because he's technically a new rework operator.
Yeah, he still is. He still is.
He's gonna get 2 kills right there. One's there to the right. Aww. That was a free kill for Poor Bridge. He just wanted to. He just wanted to play Chanka. Everybody wanted to see the Lord come out, but we'll wait one more season. Next season, we'll get to see him as much as possible.
Well, Tachanka. You know what? The funny thing is, the season should be over by now. Was it last weekend? 6 Invitational was supposed to happen. That was supposed to be, basically the grand final of the PL season, and we're trying to synchronize our seasons off of theirs as well for obvious reasons. But that didn't happen because COVID. They plan to play on LAN, not with a live audience for obvious reasons. But I mean, the pros were still supposed to be all together, and that get together was supposed to be in France, and France closed down their borders, and so that kind of threw a wrench into Ubisoft's plans. So they really did push back the entire thing, and so. Yeah. The season should be over, Tachanka should be playable, and the new operator should be in, which is not the case just yet. But at that rate, I suppose Tachanka will be allowed in between two stages in our competition, or in our season, basically. That was a long-winded explanation, so I'm going to give you the mic.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. And I'm actually very interested for the season to be over with. So I want to see how teams are going to incorporate the Rooney play. But anyway, it's now match point for TBG. Surf Esports have, unfortunately, they won 4 straight, lost that round. Could we see another, they just have to win 3 rounds, but also TBG only had to win 2 rounds. So we'll see. It is the 3rd bomb site. Not many people go here. So I'm interested. I always say I'm interested to see, but I am interested. As TBG, they do have the Pulse playing downstairs. They do have the Valkyrie roaming as she's going to be getting pings off of her black eyes to tell, hey, the attackers are coming from this way, so you better watch out. And so maybe they're not going to try and flank them, because I believe the attackers have a Nomad, so the flank watch would be squashed there, but she's still outside.
She hasn't tossed out a single air jab, yeah. Oh yeah, and also, can I add something this time? Pulse is playing with the Nitro Cell, so that's going to be a step up. He's with a shotgun, so I guess you could argue that Bridge still is more or less trolling, because he wanted to play the Tachanka after all. Munchies, right there, is going to be hiding in the master's bathroom. That's the shower, technically, I want to say. Yeah, that is. Has yet to be droned, but the first drone that comes through, of course, is going to realize he's there. He's not prone in the bath. Or in the bathtub. However, I don't know if TBG are being complacent, because he's just way too close. And Bridge with the Nitro Cell, that's nicely done. Xen, Xen is really not aware of Munchie's presence, and Munchie really just has to wait for the right time, and that time might be now, as 2 attackers have gone down, one through the stairs, one through the hatch. But that means, you know, if you walk down, you are going to be in 2 attackers' backs. Or you could just harass the guys that are still upstairs. That's also totally viable.
Yes, and it doesn't seem like he knows that there's really anybody in master bedrooms. He knows that somebody dropped down the hatch, but he doesn't know exactly where they are at this moment. But Evo is going to get the kill on Sai. I think I said that wrong again. But
Oh, that's good. That's correct. 10 seconds on the
10
clock.
seconds left.
Exactly.
They had to rush site. They don't have a plan. The attackers are going down. It's 2v3 situation. Now a 1v3 as a bridge gets a double kill. But it's a little bit too late for the attackers as Surf tries to bring it back. But TBG will be taking the first map.
Yep, they did their best, but their best just was not enough, unfortunately.
Yes, and now we are going to Villa. Or no, we were just on Villa. I'm sorry. We're going to play the same map twice. We're going to
let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, please don't. We're going to be going to theme park. And so really, TBG, I feel like towards the end, they realized they were up 5-0. Why not try out different strategies? Let's bring out the cap. Let's bring out, I don't want to say that they were trolling.
Me too.
Oh, excuse me. I don't want to say that they were trolling towards the end, but also, you had...
He wanted to pick a chunk. I mean, he only did because of the rules.
Yes, and bringing the poles, he did, like you said, have a nitro cell, but it was also the shotgun, which is a little bit, you can argue the UMP and the shotgun are basically the same gun at that point because the UMP is the worst gun in the game, but also so is Pulse's shotgun.
Very true. So let's just look at this real quick. On Theme Park, Thirsty Bastards will be defending first, so they can stay on the blue side. That is actually going to be... No, they are... Thirsty Bastards are on the orange side because they're defending first. Yes, okay, that is correct. I asked the players, and do you guys want to take a 5 minutes break, or do you want to just chain them up? And they said chain them up. So Surf... Esports in the game UIs. Is there anything you want to add on to that, or should we just launch the next map?
I'm pretty good on what I feel like we've covered all of our bases from the last map. TBG is doing great. Surf, they slowly started to pick it up towards the end, but I don't know if that was a combination of them becoming a weight or if it was just TBG kind of trolling, saying, we're going to play unconventional operators at that time.
So you know what? Let's just launch the game. And we are going to be in for another map because, like we underlined before, different maps usually have different playstyles. And for better or for worse, I would expect a more heavy roam game this time. And we definitely did see our fair share of roamers, but the great difference basically is that the roamers weren't exactly that impactful on the runs that we saw, right? At the very beginning, and I see you may say, going with a no motion on your face cam that the chat doesn't see anymore. But yeah, exactly, right? The roamers could have been a bit more impactful, which they weren't, for better or for worse. And now is definitely going to be their time to shine.
Exactly, and I really hope that we see more of a roam game. They weren't, as you said just now, really impactful, as it was just like, oh, okay, he's there, but nothing ever happened. And we're going to see Surf actually get rid of the IQ, and I have a feeling that's because the IQ hurt him so much in the first 5 rounds of the last map.
Yeah, she was quite annoying, even though she was not like the biggest impact on the game. But then again, I mean, you wouldn't ban, say, a Zofia or an Ashe because everybody plays her and because she's a good operator. You ban a Thatcher. Interestingly enough, that means that your secondary, like hard breach denial, is not going to get banned. Thatcher's been banned, but what about the Maverick? Because Maverick definitely does not care about electricity. Or, I don't know, Kali might be a bit heavy-handed, but you get the idea, right? That is going to leave the... that was a Melusi ban. The last one's gonna be a mirror. Sorry, I got distracted. All around, you could focus your bans on hard breach operators, and that's just not going to be the case here. For better or for worse, Surf Esports are taking out an operator which has a really good gun, but I felt like in the first place, Xen would have been, no, not Xen, sorry, TBG played her. They were supposed to play like Ashe, and they decided to go IQ as a replacement. So I highly doubt that an IQ ban is going to cripple the team. Like, look at this, they're playing Legion. Yeah, sure, Legion can be countered by IQ, but like Vigil, you could argue the same thing. Mute, Mozzie, Jaeger, yeah. But like, it's to counter, say, Echo drones that should bring her foot to the table, and Echo drones are not going to be present this time around.
Yes, and I'm actually surprised that, you know, with the IQ being off the board, might as well bring an Echo, you know. They're TBG, I feel like, has the perfect, I don't want to say the perfect opportunity, but like, it's going to be a lot harder to spot those yokais. Yes, the change came through to where they're pretty much visible now, and they don't really cloak to the ceilings anymore, but still, if you don't know that the Echo's being brought or even is around, it's going to be a powerful up in the denial process.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, just like any type of utility, if you don't look for it, you're not going to see it. But if you do look for it, I mean, it should be quite obvious, because Rainbow Six, apart maybe the Goo Mines, isn't a game that revolves around camouflage. You could say the same thing of any like Frost or Capcan Trap. They're supposed to surprise you if you're being complacent, which, you know, on a comp level shouldn't exactly be the case. Though, I mean, I remember seeing in a Pro League match somebody eating up one of the Frost mats, and that really is supposed to be a facepalm moment for a pro player. But I digress. Right here, Bridge is going to be quite aggressive, and do you see that prophecy being true? They're always coming in from that side first. Apparently because it really is easy to take a foothold into the building from that point on. You know, if you're into Cafe, there's only really one way out, and I mean the defenders are just going to bottleneck you into that choke point, and they're going to kill you off before you make it into the map even further. Yeah, pronunciation or intonation, I guess. Whereas here, you can go to the left, to the right, there's a few hatches that can help you out, a few key windows, and you just do not have that on the other edge of the map.
Yes, and as we said earlier about the roam game happening, not many people, except for the Mew, is actually going to be off-site too far. Bridge is kind of far. Munchies...
Well, Munchies really is directly assisting Psy. Psy, of course, is there. I suppose Bridge is there to defend. I mean, for example, Munchie's flank is sorely exposed, so you have to have Bridge there. He's basically a living barbed wire at this point. So you're right, Christo and Psy are the active roamers, but the entire defense basically revolves. And oh, did Ash not see him? The entire defense basically revolves around shutting down that one side of the map. I mean, you could say, oh, if every defender is looking that way, you might want to use Cafe because it seems like the obvious weakness. But as soon as somebody uses Cafe, the defensive side would turn around to face that new threat. So basically, it's all going to come down to execute, and it's just a battle of attrition, which so far TBG are winning, because if nothing's happening, well, the countdown definitely is happening.
Yes, and with a minute left, the attackers haven't really made much progress into the building except for just a little bit, and now the gunfires are starting to come out with 45 seconds left. They have to do something to get to site and to try and get this plant down if they want to have a chance, but it seems like all the defenders know exactly or about where the attackers are going to be coming from, and so they are going to be just coming back to site and watching the angles and just waiting for the attackers to come further in, so it could just be a bloodbath. 20 seconds left, not much progress has been made as Christo still alive, and finally the first kill is going to be coming down. Bridge goes down.
Yeah, that's our flurry of kills happening. Munchie's being beneath, he's not exactly contributing either. Laugh with a key kill, he's the only one directly on OBJ, so if he falls, the entire round's lost. That's Diffuser now down, but no, Xen falls down at the last second.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, TBG, congratulations on your first round. I was saying Munchies from beneath was extremely dangerous. There was smoke on the other side, and Buck was alive, but the timer definitely did run out.
Yes, and it may be the first round, and I may be speaking a little bit prematurely, but I have a feeling that theme park is going to be that map where it's just almost everybody's going to be alive with the last 30, 20-ish seconds left, and it's just going to be what are we watching at this point as all the kills are going to be happening in 1 to 2 seconds, and before we know it, it's going to be a 1v1 situation where everybody's died in the last 4 seconds.
That seems very possible.
And so now they are going to, I didn't see the site, but it is Throne Room. And they haven't changed anything, but they are now bringing the Cade and the Bandit.
Oh, yeah, so that means that you're losing your Vigil.
Yes, so I imagine that they're going to be either the Jaeger of Christo going to be roaming, which he did a really good job, or they're going to have Laugh roaming, or not Laugh, I'm sorry, Munchies roaming as the Mozzie. So we'll see on what they do, but there's also no difference on the attacker side. They brought all the operators they did last time.
I would like to comment on Mute being there. So of course Bandit is there, of course Kaida is there, we did mention that before. But bring Mute to the table, add him to the mix, and that is a lot of utility aimed at, first and foremost, protecting reinforced walls, and as a secondary, basically, use case, he's also going to be denying intel. Because at this point, I was kind of guessing that Sai was going to stay there to kind of Cade tricks if the Bandit batteries get destroyed, but no, Lap is the one actively Bandit tricks, and should I say, Christo will be roaming, just like Munchies, but Munchies is doing so in Starch, basically like the drug area. And drugs is not where the push is coming from. Usa, with a buck, can let Havoc rain down on the defenders here, because he is now going to have vertical on the bomb site proper, and there's nobody to oppose him. Like what TBG did last round, in my mind, so far, they probably should have done this again, because look at the power positions that the attackers now have on the defenders.
Yes, and you know, last round they did not give up second floor, obviously because that's where the bomb site was, but they were holding everything. They were roaming and just denying from them pushing, but now they just freely gave up second floor. It doesn't seem like hardly anybody's going to try and contest them on the second floor, but that could all be because they just want the attackers at that point to come to them. But in the same breath, that's very dangerous because Christo will be the first one off the board very early compared to last time, about a minute and a half wasted. And now it's 5v4. Munchie's still roaming though on the first floor and possibly going to get a free kill right here. As no, he looks the other way and misses the Nomad, I believe, and doesn't see her anymore. But he will actually get the kill anyway. So making it a 4v4 with about a minute left.
But now Oz and Xen are working on a pincer maneuver. So if Munchies is complacent and if he stays on, stationary too long, it could be the end of him. There's a drone over there, but I'm not sure if it got eaten up by a pest. It did. Okay, so they would have had perfect intel on him up until, well, then they no longer did. Nonetheless, his position is not having changed. Basically, the last intel that Surf had on him still is viable, and that is maybe a little bit worrying. Bridge is going to get a nice shotgun kill on Hex, and now this is really going to split Surf's resources, because they can either commit to a push and know that Munchies is going to be in their backs, or split their push to try to funnel into both bomb sites and drugs area, which they don't do, and they're gonna pay a dear price for that. Oz, last player alive, is inflicting some damage on Maz, but that 9 seconds on the clock, even if he gets the kill, it's gonna be too late, and he does. Not running shotgun. Okay, 4 seconds. He's gonna have to start planting immediately. Oh no, Sai is not gonna bite. There you have it. That would have been dangerous though if he was just a tiny bit faster. See, he didn't have the visor on and didn't get thrown off guard by the jammer.
Yes,
that was still close.
I completely forgot that Mew Jammers do that to Jackal, because Jackal's, in some ranks, he's either banned or nobody just brings him anymore. But the main thorn in the side for Surf Esports was that, the Mozzie was still alive, the whole 3 minutes. Almost the whole 3 minutes in drug lab. It was just kill after kill that he got, and nobody seemed to flush him out of that area. Even if, let's say, they got inside and they could plant, then the Mozzie would still been in drug, and they would have had to worry about him. So I feel like that was the biggest thorn in their side. It was the Mozzie playing in drug and not being able to be flushed out, because they just went 1v1 and just lost the gunfights to that Mozzie.
So that run obviously was successful, but can we just take a moment to underline that it was not as successful as the active roam game to deny any entry point all the way from Cash Stash, you know? So TBG, if they're not careful, that run could almost have been won by a coin flip. If Evo was faster, he would have been in a firefight, and you know, in a gunfight anything is possible. One thing I want to also point out is the positioning here. Storage, that would be considered a tertiary bomb site usually. I don't know why Thirsty Bastard does not want to go into initiation, but that also is slightly surprising. Nonetheless, their defenses really seem to be prepared and, you know, going according to plan. That seems to be very well coordinated for a quote-unquote, say, improvised defense, which is definitely not what we're seeing right now. But still, going on a weaker bomb site just for the sake of it, it seems to be counterintuitive to me. Is there any sense you can make out of that?
I think it's just that they were prepared for it, and I'm very interested to see how Bridge is going to be playing the Cav at this moment. If he gets thrown out very early, then that's going to be very unfortunate for him.
Oh yeah.
But as you said, it seems like they know what they're doing. So maybe it's to throw all Serve Esports, as they not necessarily they knew that they were going to go to the drug lab part, but they never know how they're going to set up.
But
and
look
Christo,
look at how they're.
Sorry.
He's doing really good, and that kind of is a what I was going to say in a roundabout way. Look at how actively they're playing map, right? He's really making them fight for any kind of map control. He is likely going to die at this point because he's still overwhelmed. But in the meantime, you know, Bridge or somebody else, Munchies, is maybe going to walk up the stairs. No, I am just hallucinating at this point. That's not what they did last round. So they really have this duality to their play styles, where sometimes they're going to be extra aggressive and sometimes just let them come to you and let them come to you on your terms instead of actively seeking out, for example, the drones to shoot down so that they don't have them left on their inventory when it comes time to push sites. Either way, Serve seems to be on the back foot, but that is going to be Munchies off the board. And of course, the roamers play in pairs, so that was one of like Bridge's flanks now sort of exposed, and you can see he's in a cul-de-sac. One flash, and he's done.
Attackers have located
Yes,
the bomb.
and I thought somebody was coming around the corner, and I thought the Ash saw him, but I guess it was just my imagination. As if the Ash walks back one step, I don't know if he knows that it's there.
Probably not. Probably he's way too close for somebody who doesn't know it's there.
Yeah, I would have already destroyed it. That way you don't have to worry about it. So if he walks back in one...
And there you go. No, he knows. Okay, he does.
Okay.
Okay.
That scared me for a second.
No, I'm not gonna lie. They had us in the first half.
Yes, very much so. And it seems that Bridge is slowly going to get up on the 8 and is going to get the down. No, not
Trigger
quite
discipline.
yet.
Trigger discipline. And the shotgun is gonna make 2. No interrogation possible. Sorry, that. No interrogation possible because nobody was close enough to deny that, I want to say. But it doesn't matter. Now the attack is just crumbling apart. 2v4 situation. Hex and Ivo. Hardly entry fraggers, either of those, but they still have really decent guns. So I wouldn't put it past them. Still, with 11 seconds on the clock, somebody's going to have to plant really quickly, and that will leave only one player up to deny the plant, to cover, or it's going to be a deathmatch situation, and that would be truly hopeless, just like we saw right there.
Yep, and it seems like as it was coming down to the wire, I forget who it was going through to rotate into drug, and he was looking around trying to figure out if there was anybody in the room, but his teammate should have been telling him, hey, there was somebody in drug playing behind the shield. Yes, that's necessarily old information, but
better than nothing, yeah.
Better than nothing, because he was constantly looking around, not necessarily knowing where anybody was. And that's exactly where he died was the person behind the shield. Now, again, old information is old information. You never want to give your teammates old information and then they die to it because you told them to look left when they were really right. But still, if he was actively communicating with his teammates, maybe he could have got a kill there, and would it have been a different story? I don't know. But I'm not Doctor Strange. I don't have the time zone where I can see all the possibilities out in the world. And so, speaking of, we're going to have TBG maybe doing a repeat of Villa, where they are up 3-0 right now, winning 3 straight, but on different sides. So yeah, we could see TBG again going 5-0 right now.
I want to say that this is like one of the big differences between this map and the previous one. Not the scoreline proper, because that would be an exact copy pasta. The thing is, TBG are defending, and that map is crazy defense-sided. I'm gonna go as far as to make this assessment really definite. So it's not that surprising. Was there a mute jammer there? There was, wasn't there?
There was.
Guys, that's one of the easiest mistakes not to make. It is expected of them that they win their rounds because they're on defense. As soon as the rule swap hits, that's in 3 rounds time, that is when the real challenge is going to start. So let's see exactly when that happens, if, you know, the same momentum keeps on going, but for the newly defending team. With that being said, until then, Surf Esports, if they can get a round or two on the board, that would be a great help to them. But I'm getting a little bit worried because they had a great comeback, but the gap was just too big for them to be able to pull this off from you know, start to finish. So if they don't start winning rounds quickly, I would not, you know, expect too much out of them. Plus, they're attacking. Is it already too late for them? I don't want to say that, but we're already entering into like critical territory, or if not, barely not so, you know?
Yes, for Surf Esports to do any kind of damage, they would have, I feel like a 4-2 split would be better for them, obviously, than a 6-0 or a 5-1. 3-3 would be ideal, but I just don't see a 3-3 happening.
But they have the upper hand here, and as I say this, oh, well.
As you say, one of them goes down, making it almost even. Christo, I don't think he necessarily knows that he has the injury, and he's slowly going to be getting pinched, and we'll see if he's able to fight off the attackers, but it doesn't seem as the Ash of Surf is going to be brought up, and he's still alive.
He played for time.
He did play for time.
Yeah, he didn't get sent off though. That's like the big failure that he had to suffer, because if he was to get like the 1 kill for sure, it would now be basically a 2v4 situation, which would be way less intimidating than a 2v5. But at this point, yeah, round is almost over. Sai yet undetected, but that leaves last player on bomb site. He gets the kill, the smoke right there, has to come back, but definitely things are going downhill pretty quickly. Bridge quitting? I hope that's just like a little quick little glitch. He's gonna be able to join back in. But with that being said, right now, Sai has no control over bomb sites, will not be able to deny the plant, and will have to fight an uphill battle. He's not even smoke. He couldn't just deny the one doorway. So there you have it, diffuser planted, and things are not going his way.
Nope. And he's going to see that they have not made... Oh, he actually is going to get a kill down, but as soon as he did, they knew exactly what he was, and it was just watching the angle at that point. And it was a very quick kill, and they are asking, it looks like, for a pause.
Yeah, so they asked for a rehost. I'm just going to check if like a pause timer is good enough. Let's see. Yeah, timer is currently paused.
Yes. And we'll see if Bridge is able to join back. Hopefully he will be able to.
Yeah, so Bridge lost connection, but he should be able to join back in, right?
I would believe so.
I think so.
As long as its game didn't crash, even if its game did crash completely, he should be able to join back, hopefully.
But hey, that was Surf's first round 1.
I know, and oh, there he goes. Bridge has returned.
Okay.
Oh.
We're still saying wait. Not resuming. You know, the replays are showing in the background, so they can loop for, you know, not exactly 10 minutes, but it's still better than having straight up nothing on.
Exactly, and they don't have to stare at our faces the whole time, which is nothing wrong with that, but they probably much rather... I knew some of those words that Bridge just said.
Yeah, he's like, my bad, my connection really is having issues right now.
Okay.
So let's just get a confirmation out there, because okay, you guys cannot see this right now, but it's quite funny. Bridge is the only one who has an operator selected right now, and he's the one who got disconnected. Bridge says yes. Bridge says ready, but Sai, you still want your 30 seconds? Seconds is good. I mean, at this point, they got way more than like 20 seconds than way more than 20 seconds to pick their operators, which is like the only one slight, say, variation from the typical rules. But I mean, we're not gonna delve too deep into that. They're allowed to call it tactical timeout, right? The only thing is that at this point, they were probably talking about how do we play the round, and that's, you know, really a small slight. Yeah, Surf Esports winning a round. Was it one of a kind? I don't know, but they had a really big lead, so it wasn't just by dumb luck.
Yeah, I want
but in
to
the
say
same
that
breath,
Go ahead.
I really have to work on not cutting you off too often.
Oh, no, you're fine.
In the same breath, do you think Surf Esports are going to be able to replicate that? Because I feel like TBG played quite well. Surf Esports, I don't know. I couldn't tell you because... Now, TBG, they really did retreat more than they did the previous round. Yeah, the very first round. You know, this was a daycare, like, at the very beginning of the game. And they did not play as actively. Remember when you had, the very first time, your smoke/mute with the shotgun in the showers? When you had the other guy, was it Munchies? You know, with bullet holes to watch the shoulder entrance as well. And the defense didn't seem that spread out. Not as in spread thin, but as in, you know, holding cross angles and holding a large portion of the map. That was just not the case, which is why Crystal, sorry, was being pushed in on initiation room with the Jaeger. He did hold out for way longer than he had any right to, but he still got overwhelmed too quickly because he was on his lonesome too early on at the end of the day. With that being said, I did cut you off to say that, so I'm giving the mic back to you.
All I was going to say is that Surf Esports, they won that round, I want to say pretty decisively.
Yeah.
It was a 5v2 before the plan even went down. And yeah, TBG got a couple of kills. But if as I say, it's Munchie gets a very quick kill, making it a 4v5. So they're going to be putting the pressure on, which we saw in the first round. They're going to be... I was going to say the exact same thing, but they're going to have Surf Esports second guessing on should they turn this corner, should they not turn this corner. So if they can drone out as much as possible, that's going to help them in the long run.
I just want to point out you have surprisingly many different defenders on cameras. So Bridge really is the only one with a gun up. That is going to give a butt ton of intel. Two thirsty bastards, but at the same time, if they were to be pushed aggressively, only Bridge, when I was speaking, of course, things change, Bridge would have been the only one ready to actively deny a push. And as always, is the first one gonna... Yeah, exactly, look at this. The first one destroyed the second one. So Hex, you really gotta throw them out one after the other, because in grand total, it's gonna cost him his 3 Selmas to breach the hatch. And then, you know, the third Selma could have been used to, say, for example, open up that wall right here. You would have to use somebody else to, like, destroy the embedded batteries first, but that is, of course, a given, considering the map. At the end of the day, that really is a beginner's mistake, if I do say so myself.
Yes, and like you said, he's going to use 3 Selmas when already it takes 2, so he's out of Selmas right there. He's your only hard breacher at that moment. So... if you're worrying about a hatch when there's another wall that you need to open, and very quick. Oh, they traded. Oh, wow.
Yep. Okay, so that's the last Selma. He did not want to blow the hatch for nothing. It looks like from above they were able to destroy the battery, or yeah, Laugh didn't, like, not plant went down for some dumb reason. So it really is going to be a 3v4 situation. You can really see the end of the round profiling itself. This is where the attackers are going to be coming from. Execute yet has to determine everything. For example, nasty cross angle from Munchies. No immediate refrag is going to be possible either. So really, Xen is going to be working on a flank, which could be the only saving grace, but that is not too promising either. 7 seconds on the clock. He's in a deathmatch situation. Has to get 4 kills. That is just not happening. And there you have it. TBG winning round number 5. That's number 4 to 1 scoreline. Pretty great lead for them, if I do say so myself.
Yes, and really that was all the Munchies show right there. I believe that was a quad kill, or at least a triple kill, for him, as they didn't know how to contain him. He was just all over the place. He was over, I believe, on halfway across the map on second floor, and then he was over by Dragon Stairs, and he was just all over the place, doing what, as I believe, a roamer should do. And yes, we've said many a times, or I've said many a times, you want your roamer to get as many kills as possible, but if you can play as much time as possible, it was becoming, 10 seconds left. It was 1v4. Surf just did not have it in them to win that round. It would have been a miracle for them to win that round at the end.
And so at this point, this is going to be the last round before the role swap. Another bomb site where at the very first time I didn't exactly expect TBG to take it home, but they did. Munchies, oh, he's hiding. They don't want Surf to know there's going to be an Arcs at play. Okay, plus a Capcan. I mean, they did play with the Frost last time they went there as well, so I guess that figures just a slight variation on the exact way to, put the plan into execution. There's going to be a drone coming in. It's going to have to get shut down. Oh no, Munchies has been spotted out. That's unfortunate though.
That is unfortunate, and I'm not 100% sure on who he six picked off of. I have the stream up, so I'll watch it whenever.
Can't remember either. Yeah, you're right.
It comes up, and we'll see it. But I'm surprised. I think they knew that the Capcan was coming out, but I want to say that they didn't six pick off of the Oryx. But like I said, I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's going to be trying to deny as much as possible, and just make Surf wish that they knew that the Oryx was there earlier.
Yep, he did steal some life away from Evo. Oh, Crystal falling down pretty quickly. That's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, if the Roman game crumbles that quickly, it's going to be unfortunate for them. Yeah, that's going to be a Ash making an unfortunate encounter. God damn it, I'm getting tired. Encounter with with one of the Capcan traps. Munchies could vault up the hatch, but well, I guess if he runs out, he has an easy kill on Ivo, but that really is like intel he doesn't have access to. If he knew that, that'd be suspicious to say the least. So I totally get why he's not running up, but in the same breath, if he just times it correctly, he's going to be behind the entirety of the attacking team, and that's no small feat. Oh no, Ivo's coming in
no,
right
that was
now.
The wrong time.
He gets him!
Munchies winning the gunfight, and what I thought was going to be the wrong time was actually the right time, and Bridge is actually going to go down as well. But I feel like the damage has been done, as Munchies is still alive, and if he won that gunfight, that would have been big for him at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, using the Remba Dash to just run out of there so much quicker, that is huge as well. He has great mobility for the time being, and that great cross angle is going to cost the attackers the diffuser. Now in a 2v3 situation, Xen and Hex are just split so much. That's going to be another Capcan trap. Xen, last player alive, is running after the diffuser with an elusive Munchies out on the loose. He does not know where that guy's going to be, and because of his hatch vaulting capabilities, oh yeah, you could see he was panicking there. Because of the hatch vaulting capabilities, he really could be literally anywhere. Well, except maybe for now, because of the Remada, him jumping up and shooting as he landed up there. At the end of the day, letting the opponent know where you are might be the best way to also bait them out. I guess in that case, it really worked out well for him.
I feel like it's slowly becoming the all Munchies show, as he, I want to say, single-handedly led TBG to 2 wins in a row. First down in the Thrones, where he got either a triple or a quad kill, and there he got another triple, at least, I believe. I could be wrong in that sense.
He got 3. He got, so the first one, Jackal, when he vaulted up, right there in the replays. Then he got Nomad, well, right there in the replays as well. Oz, who just wasn't aware. And the last one, of course, that's the final kill count. That one's history.
Yes, and so, 3 back-to-back round winning, I don't want to say round winning wins, or kills, I'm sorry. But taking all 3 by yourself when your defender, your other teammates don't really have to do much,
that's huge.
You're going to win probably about 90% of the time, unless Surf just did something amazing at that moment. But it's very hard at that moment for them to do that. As now, 5-1 scoreline, we just have to have TBG. I want to see what they're going to do on attack differently. They are bringing the Maverick for a hard breach to where Surf Esports was not bringing the Maverick at all. They were only bringing one hard breach, so they had to get rid of the batteries, the bandit batteries, the electric calls, and things like that. Where Maverick, he doesn't have to worry about the electricity unless he gets too close. So them bringing him is very smart on their terms.
Ivo right here trying for something. Though you had 2 silhouettes on the right angle, they did not run up the stairs, and ergo Ivo, as much as he wants, is not going to get a kill right there. A+ for efforts. The fact that the results were not there, that's out of your hands. Still, you like to see it. The push is, as always, going to be initiated into Cash Stash, and ergo that is then going to be Xen. Well, I am really going overboard with those, segue words. Xen is going to be the first front line of defense, but he is bailing out. But I believe, Uza is coming up. And Ivo was also playing quite aggro. He was roaming, but he is roaming now way closer to the bomb side. That's just not going to work. He's going to have to tear it down. Unfortunate. So yeah, you have Sen and Uza in basically a 2v5 configuration, as they're going to be facing the full brunt of the attacker force. It's not a secret that they're supposed to die, and Uza is not going to, have his last word just yet. Sen does the same. So it looks like Surf Esports are really potent on defense as well. That was to be expected. Right there, Munchie is trying to make some headway. He's going to see exactly what Uza is. But he's just moving barely enough to not get pre-fired. Eventually, Munchie is going to be able to prevail. Nice black eye skin, by the way. I did hesitate on that for way too long. Bridge has a nice cross angle. But Xen, even though he's in the vault, that's a decent position to have. He's in a good anchor spot. Open to pre-fires, but that's not going to be the end of him. And he has the escape hatch, which is going to get watched just as he rotates. Poor timing on his part, but that was out of his control.
And I feel like the attackers have kind of changed the dynamic of what's exactly happened. Yeah, all the defenders are pretty much on site, so they do have an upward battle. But Sai still has his 3 stomach charges, and yes, one is that wall is muted, but Munchie's is going to try and get it.
How did the natural cell not stick to the ceiling? That's like the question I have.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened with the natural cell in that moment, but Sai is going to try and get that kill right there, and
team effort. They got him.
Yep, they finally got it. Munchies is going to drop, and he's going to be almost in sight and fighting the Cade. The Cade's going to throw his nitro cell, doing a little bit of damage. But now, Munchies is all by himself on site with so far no backup from Sai. But as I said, Sai will get the kill. 6 seconds left. We'll see what happens as Sai, oh my goodness, gets the drop on Hex and gets the win for TBG.
TBG, yes. That's the kind of rounds where the attackers must be ecstatic right now, like shouting into the mics, "Let's go!" Because the last defender only had to hide, and he didn't do that. I mean, if I was Cade, there's no point in just like hiding in the nearest nook and cranny. You have to like properly run away, because if the attacker wants to chase after you, he's going to be outside of the bomb site. He was last player alive, so I guess that makes sense. But if you also stay too static, you're open to pre-fires.
Yes.
which is why Hex really should have tried to put as much distance between him and his opponent to be sure that, you know, the last attacker, who was that? Oh, that was Sai. I'm so dumb sometimes. Sai would have had to like walk around or circle so many different pieces of cover that the timer would not have let him do that, you know?
Yes, and I wonder if it was just as soon as Hex got that kill, or I'm sorry, not Hex, Sai got that kill. Hold on, yeah, Sai got the kill on the defender. It was just too much of a. It was too quick to where Sai got the kill on Hex, to where there was hardly not enough time to communicate, saying, "Hey, he's coming from this way, run away," and so he just panicked at that moment, unfortunately.
My question to you now is going to be Surf Esports. They're down a map, they're down 5 points, and TBG are in match points. Is there any hope left? Like, should they just TK each other in spawn to alleviate their suffering? Okay, I'm going overboard here, but you know what I mean, right?
I know what you mean, but we did see him come back from a 5-0 to all the way to
5-4?
Yeah, 5-4. So I don't want to say anything's like it's impossible, but 6-1. You are defending on theme park, which you have the upper hand. They should have won that last round, making it a 5-2, and slowly do the comeback that you just did on Villa. Is it over for them? Not necessarily. We have seen Surf come back before, as they are going to be trackle jacking the Vigil. I'm sorry, on second floor, and they actually have the ace open up the wall, which was not mute jammed or banded or anything at that moment, surprisingly.
Cade just tossed in the Electro Claw. Was he Cade Trixing? That would have been a poor choice to do, though. But right here, Oz is going to have a really narrow angle, and since you'd have to vault through the opening to peek him, you know, pre-fires aren't exactly as applicable as they would be otherwise in that case. That would definitely give the shotgun the upper hand, but I doubt that Sai is going to run in, you know, through that opening right now. That would just be a suicide mission. They're nowhere near ready to attempt and execute on site, except they wanted to rush, but that, you know, window of opportunity also has closed by now. There's a lot of roamers out and about. Munchies, if I was him, I would be quite scared to pull out the needle right there, you know. Ivo, if he wanted to, could have gotten the kill on that Twitch, but oh, he has bigger fish in his sight. Not gonna deny it. Wants to stay, you know, hidden. But being behind the proper push, that would be huge for him.
And as we are about a minute left into the round, they're trying to flush out the mute, unfortunately, but he is going to be successfully flushed out. Laugh, getting the kill, but it might be a little bit too late. And well, I say that as it's a 4v3, and
Laugh is on site. He gets a kill there. Christo has recovered the diffuser. Does not want to push in exactly where his teammate died from, because for obvious reasons. But still, if Laugh gets flushed out, that's going to be basically set recovered for the defenders. But no, really, really into TBG's hands. We are in a retake situation. Cross angles have been established the way defenders should be establishing them. And at this point, yeah, TBG. Oh, I don't see how it would not be GG for Surf at this point.
I don't see how it wouldn't be either, but, you know, everything could happen at once to where Surf Esports, but it's just Ivo just trying to figure out where the other attackers are. One attacker's going to get a little aggressive, and it's going to play off as Bridge gets the kill. The last kill, Christo getting the kill on the last Surf player, making TBG win. Making it, I believe, 7-1. The map and also the match. Congratulations to TBG.
That was interesting to see Surf's like attempted comeback. I think that was the most interesting thing of the entire matchup. You did see that Surf really were having some more success, very limited in scope success at the end there. But they still ended up losing the one round where they defended, the first round where they defended, due to a little clutch by Sai. So you gotta give credit where credit is due. Thing is, when they were on their back foots, they didn't manage to win a single round. That is, you know, when they were attacking. And that's really where you need to be showing off, because, you know, breaking the de facto situation is what makes you stand out. It is expected of you to win your defenses, but if you can win your attack on top of your defenses, well then you're just a step ahead, basically.
Yes, and it was just an uphill battle. You know, it's 5-1 scoreline going into the half, and then it becomes immediately a 6-1 when you should have won that round, making it a 5-2. Has to be very demoralizing. They tried to come back as best as possible, but unfortunately, it was a little too late. Surf Esports, they tried to hit their stride a little bit too late. They were hitting their shots later when it didn't matter anymore, or I don't want to say it didn't matter, but
There's always hope.
there's always hope. But unfortunately, it just, again, a little bit too late. They started hitting their stride too late. Surf tried their best, but TBG just was doing better at that point. They had as much. They had the upper hand going into this, so they could have done what they did in Villa to where they did different strats, but at the end of the day, they didn't have to do too much as they ended up winning.
You know what? Let's pick the player's brains about that. Christo is the one we're going to be talking to, and I'm moving him right now. Christo, how are you doing?
Oh, ça va bien?
Oh,
Faut-tu que je parle en anglais?
if you could, that would be appreciated. Duel does not speak French.
Oh shit, I suck in English, man.
I can translate if if need be.
I can try.
Okay, so let's talk about them. I'm going to talk a bit slower in that case.
Yeah.
You had a good lead on the first map on Villa, and then you lost 4 rounds in a row. Did you get at some point a bit like hesitant about your capabilities of winning the match, or did you still think you were able to, or that you were going to win the map without too many difficulties? Should I say this in French?
We didn't know, man. No, no, I understand, yeah. We didn't know, seriously, we're thinking that our offense in Villa sucks, so we bet on defense, but our defense sucks too. So when we got the first win defense, we say, yeah, let's go kitchen and try what they can do in defense and offense to attack kitchen. So we go kitchen and we play like bot, and it's work.
Well, congratulations. But
Yeah.
Villa was your map pick, right? No, it was not your map pick. Okay.
Yeah. No,
So-
it was.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. The overlays have been swapped because you're an orange team, or expected you to be in blue team. Details. Yeah. So you're saying like your defenses on Villa were a bit weaker, but yet you picked Villa for what reason did you pick Villa if you're not that comfortable on it?
But no, we know our defense in Villa are strong, but not today. So
Okay. It was just not your day. Gotcha.
yeah.
What about the other map? So what about Theme Park? That was not your map, and yet you were able to win with even a greater lead. I remember the one defense where you were defending Daycare, round number 4. You were playing Jaeger,
Yeah.
and you were pressed so hard. You didn't get any kills, but you played for time for way longer than we expected. Your defenses were pretty strong there. Why were your defenses better on the map which you did not choose?
We don't know. Team Park, everybody knows it's a defense-sided map, so we know we started defense, so we tried to get the most round we could. So yeah, we get, I think, 5 rounds in defense.
Yep,
Pretty
that's
strong.
correct.
With the 4 round, we will be happy, but yeah.
Gotcha. Joel, is there anything you want to add on to that? Because I'm just like hogging the mic here.
No, the only thing that I can think, and I'll try and I'm a fast talker, so I'll try and talk a little bit slower. If you need to translate, that's fine. But I'm interested when, and you may have already touched on this, but when they were coming back on Villa, what was necessarily being said? I know you're bringing out unconventional operators, and some of the operator weapons like a pulse shotgun or even the cav, which we also saw a little bit on theme park. What made y'all bring out more, I guess, unconventional operators?
Yeah, every time you see a fucking random operator like Cav and pull shotgun, it's Bridge. Bridge all the
Yep.
way. He took the safe pick and took the fucking Cav, and we say, oh shit. But he did really well, so he's
I
good.
guess that counts.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's good, and yeah.
All right.
Um,
I just want to say congratulations on the win. Y'all are going to be going to play Impact, I believe. Impact
Exactly.
Esports, who y'all have made y'all go down to the losers bracket. So, what do y'all have to say about the future facing of Impact?
But we know Bridge going in the impact, so we're a little bit fucked. But we had a I don't know how to say that in carte cachée.
a hidden ace,
Yeah, we had
which you don't want to reveal, I suppose.
So yeah, I think
All right.
it's gonna be a good match, man.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you played against this team, not in the playoffs last season, but you played against this team this season, which
Yeah.
they put you into losers bracket, and now they're even snatching a good player off of you. So that also would probably be a bit intimidating or disheartening. So let's see what your hidden ace is going to be like a new player, if I was to guess. You may not want to confirm that because, of course, keep the surprise, but you're losing a player. So if I had to bet, you're bringing a new player in. I had to bet that's going to be your surprise. So I can't wait to see who that's going to be, if I'm right on that assumption in the first place. And that's going to be next week, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah. Is there anything you want to add on to that? Because I think that's pretty much like all the questions I wanted to ask you tonight.
No, it's all good for me, man.
Awesome. Well, then I won't hold you off any longer. Have an amazing rest of the night. See you again next week. And take your time to scrim and strat because that team won last season's... that team is last season's champion. So you're going to have a steep battle or a tough battle ahead of you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Awesome. See you, man.
Ciao.
And so, that is pretty much going to be it for us tonight. You know what I could do, though? I could maybe seed the brackets for the next week. This way, I mean, we can already jump into it. And I know people are online. You know, Thirsty Bastards and Surf are there right now. Or at the very least, they were there a few minutes ago. This way, with any luck, I mean, we could have, the beginning of the chats regarding like what or how, when to do the matches, when are the matches going to be played, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. Let's just restart this to allow the players to upload their MOS files. And gosh, I am such a bot. I want to copy and paste the typical, like, this match has to be played by X date message, post it in here. But we're going to be talking about next week, so that's going to be March the 4th. March. By the way, it is going to be... I don't think it's a national holiday, but it's like a holiday, like midterms, midterm break for
gotcha.
me. And you're not a student, are you?
No, I am not.
So yeah, you won't. So, but is that break like typical in the US as well?
I'm trying to think. I don't think it is, but it's been a while since I've been in school, so I'm not exactly sure when midterms would be. But I also know that they don't really get a break for midterms. They have to take the midterms, and then it's just next week,
Gotcha.
Straight going back into classes. So it is a week of midterms, but again, starting on the following Monday after you take your test, you do have to go back into to your classes like almost nothing happened.
Yeah. I totally get that.
Yeah, so I think next week, I don't know how many French teams or Canadian teams we have, and also how many US teams we have going into the finals.
So this is, this will actually warrant a screen share. So I'm sorry for dropping your cam. But let me just open that up real quick. This way the stream sees exactly like the screen right here. Of course, there's always the Titan Leagues and the Chimera League. There's always like 2 groups per league. So it kind of fragments basically everything. But here's what we have. Titans League, it's going to be Impact Esports against Thirsty Bastards. Like the continuation of what we just saw right here. No surprises on that front, I hope. In the other group, that's going to be Lumberjack against Impact. The other Impact roster that is. On that front as well, was it like yesterday you were mentioning, I hope there was going to be this other match, like that match that we're going to be casting tonight?
Yes.
Or was it not at the beginning of tonight you said that, right?
Yes, I thought we were going to be... I was hoping we would do Lumberjacks and Impact Elite because that's going to be a great match.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Also now I'm looking forward to the TBG and other Impact... the other Impact
Esports, the scary one.
As I want to see what TBG, what they have up their sleeve. They're not giving anything away.
Yes, so you're right.
The finals are going to be some great games. I hope. I don't want to put any match over another one, but both of them are going to be amazing to watch.
That's really interesting. Because, I mean, this format, of course, creates the, like, 3 basically finals for each stage. It's not like grand final of the playoffs, but they're still, like, more hype than any regular random good old match. And that's something I like. If I was just to keep on moving on, though, that was for Titans League. Chimera League, of course, has 2 groups as well.
Yes.
But Chimera League has the misfortune of having lost a team on both sides. Vendetta Esports has disbanded.
Gotcha.
And if I was to come in here, was it Team Divinity Blue has disbanded as well. So by having a disband and a free win on both sides once, they're basically like a round ahead. You can see that this grand final has already been played.
Yes.
And I could not like start seeding the next round without knowing like who wins on here. Which is why, first and foremost, people in Group A, you guys have a 1-week break. Or for example, Eclipse. I'm sorry, you haven't played in 2 weeks. It's going to take another week before you play again. That's outside of my control because if nobody had disbanded here, I mean, we would be like on schedule, basically. So next week's match is going to be between Salute and Ascension. That is 2 American, 2 English teams. And the interesting thing is, Salute are the one that put Ascension in the losers bracket. So we are in an extremely similar scenario to the one that we saw in the Titans League above here with Impact and Thirsty Bastards. So the dynamic really is going to be a deja vu, basically. And that's another match which I cannot wait to cast.
Oh, yes. All of the final matches are for sure going to be... They're not going to disappoint. They're going to be either great if you're casting them or even great if you're watching them. So I hope people come and stick around even for the Salute and Ascension game. It's going to be a great game overall.
Absolutely. But at this point, I think we're dragging things for long enough. So guys, have an amazing rest of the nights. I've been Hans. This was Duel. You can, of course, find us on social media. Duel, do you also have like a YouTube channel? Because, I mean, shouting out, for example, a Twitter is one thing, but shouting out a YouTube is a bit like, it's more content, you know?
Yeah, I have a Twitch channel. It's Dual Rogue 1. So it's exactly how you see it on the screen, except for you add the number 1 at the end. And I also have a Twitter, still Dual Rogue 1, exactly how you see it on the screen, except for you add the number 1 at the end.
Awesome. So guys, go check him out because he's doing some great work. If I was to say go check me out, I don't stream on my personal channel. I'm always here. So go check out this channel right here, which you're already on. So mission accomplished. With that being said, next matches are going to be next week. They yet have to be scheduled, so I can't tell you exactly when. But you all know when the default date times are. That's Wednesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. respectively. So see you then. Maybe earlier on if the teams schedule their games at another time, but that yet has to be seen. With that being said, I'm repeating myself so often. Have an amazing rest of the night. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.